I can't really see what issue it would, why it would cause an issue. I mean, the worst thing I've noticed looking at stats is it doesn't detect it as the correct operating system. So edge routers think it's a Linux laptop rather than a phone. Oh, the Switch's got randomization on it. Hang on. Let me put myself on mute a second. I'll go and fire mine up for you. Well, I can't find my switch at the moment, which is annoying. Well, I'm to the music. Oh. There we go. And say points to it being a faulty Wi-Fi chip at the moment, but that's just the best guess. Let's look for you now then, Luna. See what we can find. Okay. I mean, I can think of ways of doing it. I'm just trying to make it easier for you. Right, let's check the main source. Well, someone's done it, and there's a fix for it. Because someone's got Debian to run. Apparently Wi-Fi doesn't work though. Which is a bigger issue. Yeah. I mean, you can manually move all your packages over, so it's not like it's not doable. But that means you can't SSH in or you got it. I do love this community though. Someone complained that Wi-Fi doesn't work, so they've suggested using the infrared as a serial connector. Legend. Right, let's have a look, see if this 3DS Debian ever got a release. Because as we all know, when you've got Debian as a base, it makes your life easier. Oh, how do you know about switch root? Oh, I thought he was making a joke because that's what we've been doing the last week. If I remember, it was just a gimmick for changing the channel over, wasn't it? Or was that the Wii U? You know what I mean? Like, watch TV is in changing sources and stuff. I'm old, so TV's the collective term for watching video. Yeah, I think the S4 is the last one to have it. Possibly the S5. I think I got my first Sony phone when the S5 released. I think that was the Z2. That's when Sony were going for the enthusiast market. I didn't get to see any of them phones. XA1, was that the budget one or one of the next flagship? I know it got really bad, didn't it? Because they were trying to catch up with the other big players and started releasing flagships every 6 months, didn't they? Nice. It's crazy to think though how good budget phones are nowadays. What's the OnePlus like? I've heard nothing but negativity about them recently. Oh really? It's no good for me then. That's is it the MIUI or Color OS, something like that? It's really good, that is. Really, really good. But yeah, if it works on your phone, which your one should, I definitely recommend it. Unfortunately nowadays I'm at the stage of my life where I need the phone to work first. Back when I was younger, I used to have a phone that would crash every day or two and need to be completely rebuilt to be used. I've heard that term before. I don't know if that's a third party or a... Oh. Hi Prince, how you doing? Thank you so much for the shout out yesterday. You don't need to do that though. I just like just enjoy watching your stream. Saying that, you guys would should definitely follow Prince. He does some amazing stuff of coding on Amigas, and well, hopefully one day I'm going to catch one of your basic coding streams. I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, it's working well. It's working well enough to be building DHCPD for the last 5 hours and not die. So I've proved it's stable. I think 3 hours. But yeah, I've basically got myself into a corner where I have to compile this one thing on the system to be able to get everything else to work. And the only advice I can give anyone is never build something on a PlayStation 2. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? That's the worst thing, isn't it? I had a similar thing. I joined Prince's stream literally because I had something to do, and I ended up staying there for about 3 hours because it was just a good conversation. It's the only place I can go as well where I don't feel like the old person in the room. So that's nice. hopefully not long is the answer, but bearing in mind it's taken 5 hours so far. Sorry, 6 hours so far, because there was an hour off stream. And it normally takes a couple of minutes. Not good is the time frame. At this point, as long as it's before the heat death of the universe, it was fast. Oh, not long, or it only take me 5 minutes is the worst thing you can ever say to a customer, because it's guaranteed to take you all day the second you've said it. Yeah, you probably should look into it. One thing I've learned over the years is don't pretend. Just tell them the truth. They'll respect you more for knowing that you need to go and double check before you start. Couldn't exit Vim. I'm guessing that's more because you couldn't find the key press on that touchscreen. You say that, but someone actually had to use Nano for the first time who was a Vim user, and they struggled with it. It was quite funny though, because I've been helping them get their laptop set up all the way through, and then they made a comment about Nano being rubbish, and obviously as a person that likes it, I had to say I prefer it, which was just interesting trying to watch someone get out of that situation. And that's probably a good thing though, that you can't do that, because you can imagine an accidental I'll just copy that line incident if it did. I mean, I've been using that editor before it was Nano, and back in the Pico days. Yeah, Pico. It's not really much to learn with it, to be honest. It's literally just a terminal text editor. It doesn't need to do any fancy stuff. But All I do is write config files, e-builds and patches, so it does my job that I need. Not a lot. Not a lot. You probably gained more 1,000 voices by missing a few lines of text scroll. I don't know what text editor I use. Let me... I'm using XED. Yeah, we changed the meaning slightly. I can see the benefit for Vim though. If you're doing things like coding, that's pretty much the main one I can see. That Nano would just be a bad choice all day long. And if you used it in that all the time, you might as well just make it your default. The only reason I got my text editor is because it comes default when you install Cinnamon. To be honest, you just need a notepad there. What features do you need? I'm hoping this is going to build before I need to leave, so at least I can show you network running on the PS2 after all this time. I don't think I've ever had a time when I needed to do that in a notepad. Sorry. What did you mean, Prince, where it arrived? Oh, latex user. I've never found a need yet to go and learn it, but... no. I was going to do a... use my host system to build the program to see how far it's moved along, but for some reason my system is having a bit of trouble today, and after yesterday's crash I don't want to be messing around with it too much because it's an issue with /dev. I've never known a childroot environment to stop working while it's been mounted for a few days. So I'm starting to think I've got an issue with my host at the moment, host operating system. You're in the right place for people with brain's wired differently to normal people. Slow down. Sorry, what do you mean by the slowdown? Stream slowdown, or? Ah, no. That is probably down to the fact that it's running off a USB 1.1 bus, which is obviously limited to 11 megabits per second. And then I've got the 294 megahertz processing power on top of that, and only 22 megabytes of usable RAM. Basically everything's the bottleneck here. The proper way I should have done this was to cross-compile it, build it into a binary, and then install that onto this system. But for some reason, that's not working at the moment. So this is pretty much the only solution I can get myself moving forward. But at least this is the only package. And I suppose it's a good lesson for me to know that no one else is going to build, compile their own programs. So I need to, yeah, I need to make sure I've got a solution in place. Don't say that, Thousand Voices. The 360 crashes randomly, so that happens quite often. Yep. Right. It's got there was a bug discovered in the CPU, and every game has been working around this bug, so no one ever knew about it until they got Linux running on the system. And then one of the developers from, I think, Xbox revealed why it was doing it and why they couldn't fix it. Oh god, I remember them days. We used to have that issue back in Windows 98 as well. I don't remember that error story. Do you know what game that was from? No worries. I'm sure Google will find that one for me. Was it the Xbox 360? Oh, and Luna, sorry, I can't find a release image for the that Debian for the 3DS. Don't worry, my memory's getting faulty nowadays as well. Mine's old age and vodka though. How's yours holding up, Prince? Vodka's a terrible coping mechanism, but it's a very good solution if you're bottling everything up inside and not telling everyone. Because a few shots of that with some friends, you're telling them everything. And alright Luna, let me send me over some screenshots later on and we'll take a look. I know how to do switch route anyway, so I can help you with that part. Obviously, unless you want to figure it out yourself, enjoy the challenge. Don't worry, Luna. I didn't know how to do it a week ago. Now I know how to build a whole system to do it on a PlayStation 2. I wonder if the Raspberry Pi 4 can run PlayStation 2 emulation. That sounds like a good workaround. Unfortunately, I'll have to then fix my laziness trait of not writing stuff down and relying on my memory to solve it for me. The only notes I keep is nerd stuff. Really? I mean, even the original Raspberry Pi could play 1080p MKV files. What version were they using? Yeah, go and do that. That'd be an interesting conversation. I've got a bunch of nerds that are questioning how you set up a Raspberry Pi. But say I had the original RPI 1, and that managed to play 1080p even like in the first few days. Nowadays everything's kind of optimized, isn't it? So you'd have thought it'll be working better now. And from what I've heard about the version 4, it's supposed to be stupidly powerful. Oh, is that your Skylake i5? It's overpowered. My i7 there, it's got enough power to completely build a system for the PS2 and the Wii, so YouTube's no drama for it. Yeah, you are right there, Jangle. They are amazing value. I've literally had to set myself a rule though of not buying any more. I've got a drawer full of them. I am glad that I didn't listen to people back in the day when everyone told me to buy an i5, not an i7. Because that's pretty much the only reason I can keep mine going at the moment. It's the hyperthreading. And that sounds very sensible things to be buying your money on. I've obviously started wasting my money on old gaming consoles. I've got some zeros scattered around the garden though as access points, so at least they're in use. They're not the fastest, but it's only for some web browsing in the garden, so it doesn't need to be much. I feel like I want to come visit your house. I feel like I'd have an absolute field day there. They make good systems, don't they? It's just a shame they're anti-consumer friendly. And yeah, you're right. I don't like having to rely on some company to keep supporting a device that's connected to the internet. So at least if I build it myself, I know it's always going to work. And I agree with you there. I dislike my Switch so much, but I really wanted to play Super Mario Maker, so I had to buy one. And now I just don't really like Super Mario Maker. That's brilliant. I wonder if that's a case of the IT geniuses not knowing how to do the basic stuff. I don't know if you guys ever see it in the field, but you go and see people that are like literal gods at their field, and then you give them a simple task like plugging in a cable, and they just don't know what to do. I mean, yeah, those people are just on different levels to us, aren't they? They just don't see problems as simple. They don't see an issue in that such a simple way. Alright, Luna. Nice seeing you again, and I'll catch you later on. Thanks for stopping by. Right, I've got until just after 7, probably half 7 at the latest. That's probably about 40 minutes before I need to drop off as well. But hopefully this finishes beforehand. But don't worry, I will save the first boot to watch the view up. Ooh. I've never tried it with a 4K TV. I mean, I've seen old systems drive 4K, but not video. Don't worry, my eyes make it so it's not worth me upgrading past 1080p. I do get to outdo you though with 60 Hz. No worries, Prince. I can only do a little bit myself, so I'll probably be doing the same on your stream later on. Damn. I spent 600 on my TV, and I've repurposed it as a second monitor. Oh, cool. Sorry, I forgot it was an Italian. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow then, that one. Bloody hell. You do the same thing again in a different language? You're on another level. It's so impressive. I can't even... I butcher my own language, let alone doing 2 streams in 2 different languages. What, sorry, before you go, what are you doing again on Sunday? Was it more game development? That sounds really interesting. Have you got a link for that? I'd like to see how that actually works. Ah, of course. Meager assembly. Even as a person that puts Linux on old devices, even to me that sounds like how on earth. Anyway, good to see you again, and I'll catch you later, my friend. I'm just going to go downstairs and grab a drink quickly. I'll be back in a second. It is amazing. Plus he teaches you how to what to do as he goes. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go. My back is killing me after doing a 6-hour stream. Average time, about a month. Tell me about it. I literally just stood up and my back stopped working. Oh, do you mean long for getting the system installed? Right. Just recompile your back. At this point I feel like I need to. I need to go for a nice walk. Let's see if anyone's doing some Linux stuff though. Oh, how about someone making a Windows 98 game? Thank you very much for the follow. I do hope you'll come again. Got someone doing coding on Windows 98 is definitely something interesting. Don't worry, I always forget. I do upload them onto YouTube if you want to watch, but it's not as fun, I don't think, on YouTube. Right, where was that? Got it. Right. Well, thank you very much all for coming, and I'll hopefully be streaming again tomorrow, and we'll see the system boot. What's the best way to donate? Below the stream.